we are. Bigger Than Us.
Thank you.
Is the project. And so you guys releasing singles just kind of on a perpetual single release strategy?
Kind of right now.
I feel like that's the way to go.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I've been releasing a project and I just get so much more out of a single than a whole project. It's like not everything gets its due, gets its promotion.
Right.
You end up being like, you guys didn't hear that one song? Like, track 25? You didn't listen to track 25? You know? Totally. And it's like, so I think that's the strategy, honestly, and just like focus on one at a time, promotion-wise.
Yeah, it's a juxtapose of feelings because like you want everybody to hear this dope ass music you made, and you kind of got to play by the rules of these algorithms and just the game.
It's the game.
Yeah,
art and commerce.
But also we're like a very new project, so we need to like just drop feed what our sound is going to be, so we can set the landscape for what we're about to do. You know, so discovery, every chance to discover.
Yeah, and you sent me a SoundCloud link to some like 25 songs or something. So really excited for all of this to come out. How did this group come together?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we met at my wife's birthday party at my house just over a year and a bit ago. And it was like 4 a.m, and usually the party kind of ends up in my recording studio downstairs in my house. And I played a beat, and she's just like, let me spit on this. And it was like this super sick thing on this track, the We Are Free track, Free.
Cool.
And that was like the first thing we made, and it was just very in the flow. And it wasn't like we were like, oh, we're making a project at all. We were like a track,
Mm-hmm.
and then we started having like this body of music, and then we shared it with some friends, and the friends were like, yo, this is dope. And then we were invited to play at Bombay Beach Biennial from your friends and my friend Henry Strange to play on like Function Ones and play this set. And we didn't even have a name for the project yet. We were just like...
It came up, we came up with the name
there.
that night.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we were just having a conversation, and I was like, I feel like it's bigger than us. And then he's like, that should be our name. I was like, yeah. Because before we were going to go with Transcend, which is the first track that we released like about 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
But then we were like, no, Bigger Than Us makes sense.
Bigger Than Us.
Yeah.
I love a project that like forces itself into the world, you know? Like,
This is
you know,
very
you're
much
like,
that.
I didn't sit down and carve out this time to create this project, but it revealed itself anyways, which is so cool.
Yeah, and same with the name. Like trying to sit down, like let's try to think of a cool name. Like you just come up with pretty shitty names usually, you know?
Right.
But then like if you're just like, it'll just kind of find us, and it always seems to.
Totally.
So at that first gig, it was just Stephan Jacobs and Marieme?
Bossa and Marieme.
Bossa, yeah, okay. So that's your project that you've been working on for a number of years.
Yeah, like 5 years now.
Bossa,
developing.
B-O-S-A.
Yeah, Bossa. And yeah, we were just kind of making collabs at first. It would have been like, you know, Bossa and Marieme. And yeah, all our friends were like, do this. And we played the show, and it just like was so well received. And everybody was like, people were like crying on the dance floor at the end.
It was really good. It was really
wow.
good.
How cool.
With none of the music released. We had a whole hour set of original music that we played, and it was like, it was something.
Wow.
And that's when we kind of knew, we were like, wait, this is bigger than us. Like, you know?
Already, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Wow. And so then,
Beautiful.
what's it like? Okay, because you hang out, you make songs, and it's like now we're going to go with this, like, it has a name, we're going to get it packaged, we're going to mix. Like, how much more had to happen to the songs, to the look, to the whole thing?
So much. I mean, I feel like he's been in the game for a long time with his drum and bass stuff and with the other Stephan Jacobs. And then I've been in the industry like about like 6 years or something. But we both have like a level of expertise based on like everything we've learned before and being, you know, in different environments. So we're putting all our expertise into launching this. So we were like just very careful with how we wanted to put it out, basically. And we always say that like I always say that art is an act, not a reaction. You know, so if it was a reaction, we would be thinking about like making the chorus first so that we can you know, satisfy the different DSPs. But instead we're actually like making stuff, thinking about how we want to present it, and presenting it that way.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Just kind of letting it guide you.
Yep.
Same with the name, like coming up with the name.
Yeah.
And then the look is really well curated. Like it's like the branding is already there and already well created.
Spent some time
like,
on it. Yeah, I have experience doing that. Like, we've been in the game for a long time, and like on Warped Tour back in the day with, playing the electronic stage, it's all kind of just been a road from there of just, staying consistent about producing, and, it's all led to this. I feel like this is kind of like oh shit, we got something that's bigger than us,
Right. And you've got all this years of expertise, like everything led to this moment, and I can execute.
Yeah.
So cool. So yeah, speaking of Warped Tour, so we met on Warped Tour. We go way back.
2013.
Yeah, wow. Mm-hmm. What was that like for you? The DJs, I was so jealous of the DJs because I was in a ska band.
What's a ska band?
Ska is like kind of like punk reggae.
Okay, go yeah.
Like, No Doubt, Sublime.
Exactly. Flogging Molly or something. What was that band? I feel like that was the most iconic.
Or like the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, Goldfinger.
Was it big in London?
Probably a little bit. Yeah, like the Specials.
In the UK, I
the
could
Specials,
see that,
The Clash kind of led to ska. But anyway. Biebs and her Moneymakers, that was the band I was in. Yeah. So we had to like I had to lug my drums to the stage. I had to like be hawking merch. I had like all this. And the DJ guys, like you guys are just like, oh, like we partied last night. We had the best time. And like, oh shit, my set's in like 20 minutes. I got to go do it. Like it just, anyway. So what was Warped Tour like for you though?
Let's not even get into the uniform you had to wear.
Yeah, exactly. I'm wearing like checkered pants and shit. Like I don't even feel like myself.
Right.
And like, I don't know. I was a little jealous of you guys.
Did you have a dress code or?
No,
Nice.
I didn't have a dress code. I was kind of on my own thing.
Nice.
It was like summer camp in a lot of ways. It was like the most fun you could possibly have, I think. There was pros and cons, of course, but like we did a lot. It was 55 shows in 60 days?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Jesus.
It was something like.
It's exhausting.
Yeah. It's one of those things where like you do this and like everything after this will be so much easier now because you did this.
Yeah.
Like any kind of touring I
Really?
do with my other work, like I'm like, this is so easy now.
Yeah, it was really a big learning experience for me, and like just understanding how much actually like I really had to like focus on making like art and developing my craft. And I had been in it for a long time before that, and that was the first year they ever had the electronic stage, was the Spotify stage, and it was like, I don't know, it was just dope. Yeah, sorry.
What are the other bands that
there's
like
that butter.
there's that buttery voice. What were the other bands that you remember from that summer that stood out?
Oh, definitely. Well, you guys, of course, and I'm trying to remember.
Because what was the group that like
Bring Me the Horizon.
Oh, Bring Me the Horizon was there that year.
Yeah, they were good.
What was the band that Novena?
Wallpaper.
Wallpaper.
Yeah,
Fuck, they were good.
Totally.
And
They had the Hesher track.
The Hesher track.
Yeah, of course.
So good.
Oh, you have a really good memory.
Yeah, impressive.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, well, that was like,
Going deep.
you hear you're on tour, so you're hearing all these other bands like every
All
day.
day, yeah.
But that was the band that like I never got sick of seeing.
They had a good show.
Wallpaper.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a
So
time.
good, so fun.
And they had some
I like
good
that,
poppy
yeah.
tracks. It was fun. Like, I'm going Hesher.
Yeah, that guy was it Ricky Reed or
Yeah.
something? Like he went on to produce some pretty big.
Yeah, I
like
think
that
he did
Jason Derulo song.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Like the one with, I don't know.
I'm yours or something?
No, it was like a club kind of hit. We'll play it later. You'll recognize it. Anyway, so that's our history, and then we haven't really, have we just not seen each
I
other
don't
at all
think so.
since?
Yeah, no.
It's great to see you.
I've had 2 kids and all the things. Yeah, it's crazy.
How old are your kids?
8 and 2
Wow.
girls. I'm a girl dad.
So cool.
That's a fun age gap too, I feel like. Because the oldest one's, does she have any interest in like looking out for the younger one?
No, she's
Built-in
kind of
babysitter?
disinterested, to be honest.
Okay.
She's like, give me the attention.
yeah. This thing's weighing me down.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
slowing us down.
Are
yeah.
they into like the music process and everything going on at the house?
Yeah, to a certain extent. Luna will come down to the studio pretty often. We're just like working. She's like, put the iPad code in for more time.
Yeah, exactly.
She's also on the first song that we ever did.
We are free. Yeah,
Yeah.
she does like the kid part during the chorus.
Nice.
We are free.
Wow.
That's
So
fun.
that first song came up so naturally. Oh, here's a beat. Oh, I got something. Let me spit on it. Was there ever like a time where it's like, oh, I'll send you stuff, send me stuff back? Were you guys just kind of getting together often to mess around?
Mostly just getting together, and we'd
Yeah.
record a bunch of stuff, tinker on stuff, and then I'd work on stuff like in between and just kind of develop new ideas. And she'd come back in town, and I'd be like, check this out.
Yeah, it happens pretty fast. I feel like we're channeling more than anything. Like it just feels very just natural, you know?
That's
How
good.
do you keep
Yeah.
yourself like in that spot where you feel like open to the flow?
I think it's rooted in discipline and focusing on your craft, like, and having a routine that includes that space to let it come through, you know? Because if you're just like caught up in like, I got to make this, then I don't think
Yeah.
you'll make it.
I
Yeah.
think it's about letting go and like just honoring what the creation you're gonna do, and like don't try to make it mold it into anything, but like just
Go.
let it be.
Yeah, go with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, like trust is a big thing, which
Yeah.
that kind of goes to that repetition. Like you've done it. You like, I believe that if we just hang out and like enjoy life and
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes
Like,
I have to
have
remind
fun.
myself, like, well, when I'm working on a track that's like half done, and I'm like, oh, am I going to get it there? And I have to be like, well, I've made these other tracks that are there.
Right.
So I have to just kind of keep going.
yeah,
You
just
know?
gotta keep fighting.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And when you say like the discipline, do you like schedule out a certain time during each day to do it? Because there's something about that seems counterintuitive to like a create. Like I'm gonna schedule my creativity now.
For me, it's everything kind of just circulates
More tea?
around that.
Yeah.
I always just try to go to my studio and work on stuff like whenever I have a minute or an hour or like whatever, you know. But like, you know, just being healthy and, you know,
Yeah.
staying.
It doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
So it's always just exciting to be like, go in the studio. What can we do with this? It's a blessing to be able to feel something, put out how you feel, and then like other people connect with it. With it. So I mean, I always say we're basically like we work like engineering works. Like, you know, what goes in must come out somewhere. So like, it's a good therapy.
That's so
the
cool.
creation process. Yeah. So. Yeah, so
Yeah, and I
love
think
that.
to your point on trust too, like I feel like there was a point when Marieme like finally like trusted me. We'd made a couple tracks first, and I think she's like, but then like I produced the tracks, and she's like, wait, and then I remember there was like a moment where it was just like, yeah, you got this, like,
I'm in good hands.
yeah, totally. I'm not trying to make something shitty for you. I want something awesome for us.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
so cool that you guys found each other, and you said just about a year and a half ago, so still pretty fresh and new.
Yeah.
It's amazing the body of music we've made
Yeah.
in this amount of time. I'm kind of blowing myself away. I'm like, wow,
So you said which song drops tomorrow?
do it again.
Do it again, and then what's the release schedule like for those others?
We're gonna release one maybe like a month after tomorrow's release, and then we're just gonna keep releasing singles. Then we have a bunch of shows at Burning Man, so we want to get at least like 5 singles out, and then like just keep pushing more singles. Then maybe do an EP, maybe do an album, depending on what's going on. But the most important thing is like just to get the music out and let
Beautiful.
people hear it, you know, and tell the story. We have like a whole story that we've been trying to tell with the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please elaborate on that. I think it's really cool. Yeah, it's really dope. When you see the visuals and everything that we're making with it, it's so sick.
Nice.
Yeah, so to promote Transcend, what we did was like we went to a friend's studio, and we pretended that we're like in a spaceship. The studio is our spaceship, and we're like taking a journey. Well, we say pilgrimage because the language you use is like very important. So we're taking a pilgrimage to the inner space, right? So we're in the studio, and we're like, do you have compassion? Then he turns a knob, and we're like, alignment. And then and then he's like, we see a button that comes on, and it's like baggage overload, and it's like, oh no, you can't take your baggage with you, you know, inside, like when you're about to go in. So he's like all petrified, and we're like, we gotta drop baggage, we gotta let go, we gotta surrender. And then once we do that, we start the inner space journey. So we also got like 3D scanned, and we're letting our avatars tell the story of our inner journey.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's already a bunch
fun.
of visuals.
So,
It's so sick.
on the next release after Do It Again, we have this song called We're Not Alone, and we're on a big ass asteroid, and it's like just hauling ass nowhere.
You're going to get a sneak peek after this.
Sick. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
this is
so-
like as more and more songs come out, we sort of get more of the story, more of the visual,
How
more of this.
cool.
Of the inner space
And-
journey. Yeah.
Hurling
Wow.
through space. I love it.
Yeah,
And we're
the
really,
inner
like,
space
making
though. It's
the
all about
visuals.
the inner space.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
they can be used for the live show, like on like 8K at the Sphere, Coachella, main stage. We want like the biggest
Wow.
res.
See, and here it is. This that experience is like, let's do something that like you kind of can
You wanna
grow,
start
like
at
you
the
can
top.
you can scale up.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, amazing.
And congrats about Burning Man. That seems like a pretty huge get.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exciting.
Have you guys played Burning Man before?
This will be my 10th Burning Man.
Oh, yeah?
And I've played all of the times I've gone, so yes.
Yeah.
But this will be the first time with this project.
Yeah.
And the excitement's really there, so.
And how
Yeah.
about you, Marieme? Have you been there before?
Yeah, this will be my 5th time, but last year I played a very monumental show on the Robot Heart. I don't know if you know that.
I've never been to
Us.
Burning Man.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
No.
me either.
Well, you need to go.
Both
Amazing.
your eyes just were like, wait.
Well, I'm not surprised. It's a pretty niche thing, but it's a pretty amazing festival. I did a sunrise performance, and I bought a clone version of me as my shadow because I want my trauma. It came out from behind me, and it was like dancing during the sunrise. It was like it signifies freedom and my healing in real time. So I was singing live and playing my music.
But what's it made of? You said you bought a clone?
No. I made it myself.
You made it?
I made a shadow suit.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a suit that you could just put on, and it's all black. But when I have my mohawk, it looks just like me, but all black.
Cool.
Oh, so it's like your shadow. You made
Yeah.
like a thing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
So that was my performance art piece, and it kind of went viral last year. But it was amazing, yeah. 'Cause,
Wow.
Yeah. So I do like just more than like performing music. I try to like do performance art and showcase healing in real time, and just showcase what I'm talking about.
I like it. Yeah. Yeah, it's like the full package, like the full experience. It's not just a song or anything. It's like there's a whole feeling here and a whole story.
The journey, yeah.
Yeah.
And it goes with each song to a certain extent. It's really cool because, I've worked with a lot of artists over the years and even had, different music projects. But one of the things I got to say, like working with Marieme, I feel like I'm finding somebody with a work ethic like me, to be honest, straight up. And it's like, everything that
thank you.
I feel like I've kind of lacked on, it's there and it like helps me lean into like everything.
Uh-oh.
It gets me to lean into
Sorry
like,
about that.
it's okay, no.
Unprofessional.
Shame. No.
But her work ethic has just been like really great to collaborate with.
That's good. That's tough
Thank
to find.
you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Totally, because I
You-
feel
you
like
too,
I feel like I'm like a Capricorn workhorse, like can't outwork me kind of vibe, you know. And
Are Capricorns like that?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
I
They're
didn't
the
know that either.
climbers, the goats that climb.
Oh, that's a hard job.
The goat.
you know, and no, it just feels very natural in that way, and
It's cool.
exciting.
Yeah.
It's a kind of an elaboration of like that idea when you love what you're doing, it doesn't feel like work. So
No.
I know.
We're like how we're gonna reveal our truths more, and like so many people. I look at people and I'm like, they're not giving us anything. Like people want to feel, and it's like, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make people feel again by reminding them that love is a source and not a destination. Like it's already within us, and we're not like trying to save the world. Nobody's gonna save the world, but we do believe that like the individual journey, the individual self-improvement is what's gonna make the difference, because we're like what's radiating from us, like it affects the people around,
Yeah, absolutely.
like the individual work is what's gonna make the difference. So we're trying to activate people.
Yeah, and
Well,
just put like, what is this?
wow.
Damn.
Hello, hey.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. No, and just try to put good vibration into the music and have people feel that. I feel like, the depth of her lyrics and vocals with like how I work with, it just works. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
It
good.
does.
It works
Kudos
great.
to you guys. That is a good endeavor to take on. World needs more positivity. I feel like, it's easy to get hopeless. I can be a panicker, so I appreciate your commitment to like making sure that that's not the kind of energy you're
Yeah.
leaving around. And it's interesting too to get to a space where you can be. It sounds like you're what you're doing well is having a story to tell, but still leaving so much space for like that show to be completely unique right then and there, and allowing that raw emotion to really rise to the top, which, like you say, is so much more meaningful to connect to than when you go to see some super calculated, over rehearsed, repetitive kind of show.
Yeah.
Or very forced music, I
Yeah.
think too,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you were saying, it's like, people they'll be like, oh, I'm going to make this thing. And if you just allow it to be,
Yeah.
then it's going to be more special. I think.
Yeah, and it can't be wrong that way. It's like let's see what happens. Let's see what falls out of us, and we'll catch it, and we'll put it there, and we'll show it to somebody. But like if you're like, well, probably. I mean, I feel like in your world, maybe you run into this a lot because there's so much like house and like R&B and like the you know, nuanced differences of what, like, oh, but this BPM, like, that is this a house song if we're doing this BPM? Like, does that ever happen to you where you're like making a song and you're like, okay, this is cool, but like I thought we were making a house song, you know, like.
I think you have to serve the song first, right?
Yeah,
if the song,
I completely agree.
You know, if the song is asking for it and it feels right, then I think it's right. You know, like sometimes I'll overthink, like, oh, does this breakbeat work after the house part? But like, if it's the right mood of the song and the right vocal change up, it can throw it into like a nostalgic feel. You know, it's just what feels good.
Yeah.
I think is what to lean into.
100%. I agree. Fuck yeah. So, Marieme, are you from LA or where are you from originally?
No, I'm from Senegal, West Africa.
Sweet.
Yeah, I moved to the Bronx when I was 7 years old, and I lived there most of my life, and traveled the world and stuff, you know, and then now I'm here.
Nice.
So you live in LA now?
Yeah, between LA and like Vegas.
Amazing. Wow. And how long have you
East
been?
Coast, West Coast. Do you buy this hype? Do you think there's a reason to compare them? Or they're just.
It's all the same simulation. What's Havana when you're looking up from space? You see Earth. It's like just one thing. It's whatever.
I love it.
Doesn't really matter. I do like the different places though, but
Yeah, for sure.
It's all
There's
the
a
same.
difference between New York and LA. But
But I get what you mean.
It's like an energy in the air when you're there. It's like, oh, I gotta like go.
in New York?
Yeah.
100%.
There's that
definitely
buzz.
speedier for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like, yeah, like, let's go. Like, it's kind of, you feel that. I don't know.
Big city
It's like you're
vibes.
on the like moving sidewalk at the airport. You know, it's like, even if I stand still, like, feels like I'm moving somewhere
Yeah.
in New
Yeah,
York.
because there's so many people and it's densely populated. You know, there's so many energies. There's just the exchange of it, so it's more rapid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And people are encountering each other more too, which I love about New York. Like, you bump into people and you're walking around and you're, oh, excuse me. And like
Right.
in LA, like I can like do a day where I go out, I like do things, but I like encounter like 3 people the whole day. You know, like there was the guy at checkout. There was like, that's pretty much it. You know, people at checkout that you encounter. So I like that about New York, like getting people. So do you get back to New York much or to Senegal?
I'm going back in less than a month to New York. I'm just gonna go hang out with my family, my niece and nephews and stuff. Take them out to nature, you know, break some of the feedback loops going on in the world.
Yeah.
I actually have just been traveling a lot. Like I've been to Turkey many times this year. I've been playing like Soho House, Istanbul, Nobu there.
Wow.
Playing a big festival, Soundscape Festival in August, and I'm bringing 2 shadows this time, not just one. And just traveling and just working. So I haven't really been in the States a lot. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so how did your singing career begin?
That's a good question. I always wanted to sing, but I grew up in a religious household, and it was frowned upon. So I had to like hide and do it. So I started like in my mid-20s, and it's been amazing. I feel like the hard part about the industry for me has been people putting me in a box, but I'm all over the place. Like you actually won't know what my music is because I do whatever I want at any given time. So it's like not I don't really have a genre. And then but I feel like the message is getting through, and people are ready to hear what I have to say, which is nice. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so growing up, like couldn't even sing religious songs, couldn't sing anything.
It was just frowned upon being in the arts, I guess.
Wow. So would you kind of sing secretly? Like how would you
secretly.
where would you go? What would you do?
I would hide and join the choir. Me and my sisters would pretend to be like Destiny's Child and stuff, you know.
Amazing.
That's how I knew I could sing, because I would be the diva when my sister would be like, come on, we have practice. And I'd be like, no, I'm going to sleep. And then I guess I realized I was vital to the group.
You were Beyonce.
No. All of them are amazing. Kelly and Michelle, they're like all amazing. So I grew up with, I mean, it was such a culture shock coming from Senegal to America. just dealing with a lot of, systemic, just the systems, the different systems that could exist, different people and stuff. And it was very interesting listening to Lauryn Hill for the first time, Whitney Houston, and all these just different types of voices that I siphoned, like that was my foundation for music and hip hop and stuff. So I blended a lot of things that I've heard. I used to watch Indian movies when I was a teenager, so I love Bollywood films. So I just like a lot of music. And
Super
so
cool.
all of that is just,
I love that. Wow.
And not to mention her linguistics in the studio. She's very like quick and clever, and we'll have one idea and she just takes it to like a whole nother.
Yeah, well, and I love your lyrics too. It's like you really hone in on like a phrase, like a point, and it's whenever I hear songs like that, I'm like, God, like why didn't I think of it? Like,
Right.
a good song
Yeah.
kind of should sound like obvious almost, where you go like, fuck,
Right.
like obviously,
Thank you.
yeah. But like I don't think of it. Most people don't, or don't say it, or don't put it the way. Like I think you do such a good job with these
thank
like
you.
lyrics that. They're super tangible. Like I get it, I feel it, and it's also like, of course, like in this really nice way. Like I think it's really something really approachable about your lyrics that I really like a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I've done a lot of ayahuasca ceremonies, and I like to think that I know that has opened me up to
Wow.
so many different worlds. Like sound is different, it's spatial. Like I feel the full universe kind of in many ways. So I feel like trying to always just get to the point is the mission with the music. So
Wow.
My really good
I
friend.
approach it that way.
My really good friend said my music changed a lot after I did ayahuasca.
Wow.
Yeah,
For sure.
there's like more depth to it or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me
I think I
about
gotta
this
do a
experience,
ceremony.
because I've heard that there's like
Also, how many is a lot of times? You said you've done it a lot of times.
Like 14 maybe.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah, ceremonies.
Wow.
I've only done
So
two.
where do you
Okay.
go to get these or do the ceremonies? At like what
Different
environments?
places.
Concerts, festivals? Or
No,
Absolutely
not at all.
not.
no.
No.
Like a controlled, more controlled
Yeah, with the
environment.
shaman. I went to Peru for like a couple of weeks. I hung out with the Shipibo people, and they gave me this medicine actually. What was it called? The Cinco medicine, but it was brewed from the wood that they make instruments from, and they told me it would amplify my voice. So maybe it's placebo, maybe it's working. I'm not really sure. I like to think it was working.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I took a lot of plant medicines there just to get my life together.
Wow.
I love that.
The comment section for this video is going to be like, where do I go to do this to get my
What was the address for that?
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, that is so cool. I've never done ayahuasca, but I would like to. I'm very curious about it.
Yeah, I've definitely been intrigued by herbalism more and more as I've gotten older, and just I crave that knowledge, and it's just so funny to me, the
It's definitely
disconnect where
knowledge.
people don't know it and they look at it as it's like woo woo, but in the reality all of our pharmaceuticals are based on that plant medicine too. So it's just an interesting little disconnect, I think.
Yeah.
But
Well-
that's cool to tap in. How did you find the connection to like the Peruvians?
Through people I knew in New York who did a lot of work in the ayahuasca plant medicine field. And it was really profound because I was struggling through not being able to pursue music because of the religious background, dealing with colorism and just so many different things, I had to really dig myself out of the depression I was in, really. So I was like, this hate or like hate for myself or hate for anybody else because I have hate for myself is not sustainable. So I knew I had to like manage it in some way. Just like, everything that goes in must come out in some way. So either it's going to stay inside of me or I'm going to find a conduit to, make the pain into art. And that's what I've been doing,
Wow.
It gave me range, so.
Really cool. What's the
Beautiful.
difference between that first time and that 14th time? Is it like, do you go sort of to the same place? Obviously, the first time there's this like, whoa, I've never. I mean, what's the big difference from the first to the 14th?
I do think that the more you take it, the different levels to it there are, because I would be experiencing or trying to explain my experience to somebody who was a first timer, and they would describe the things that I saw the first time that I went in, kind of. So I do think that there's like levels to it. It was just really profound. I feel like I felt the source of love, and like it's me, and I'm love. So I just gotta, go with the flow of life. And when you're in flow and aligned, the flow will provide. So I feel like I've been having deja vu a lot because I feel like I'm stepping into my future,
Nice.
Yeah.
It sounds so transformative.
Very.
I mean, it's great how these principles kind of carry to other things. It's just like making a song. Like, just let it, when you're just letting it happen, when you're just letting someone, oh, that's the name of the group, like just kind of letting it go, like life is so much easier. Anytime I've tried to like, I gotta make something happen, like it falls apart.
Yeah.
Versus like just going with it. Still, there's effort. There's a lot of like your own discipline and energy needs to go into it, but like where that's going, like it kind of points you in the right way, I feel like.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like getting together and being like, oh, let's make this kind of song is never really. I'm like, let's just see what kind of happens.
Yeah.
Don't put it in a box, because then you're just like not letting the flow.
Right. And you're going to be disappointed. Like, we're not going to make, if you're just thinking like, I want it to sound like what I'm hearing right now in my head, like there's no way, So yeah, you're kind of setting yourself up for disappointment.
Yeah.
Which like same for life. If you're like, oh, I'm going to move to LA and it's going to be like this, like
No.
it's not. But like, I'm going to move to LA and like, let's see what happens.
100%.
There you go.
Wow, I believe in the power of manifestation. So when you sorry, let me say this. I believe in the power of manifestation.
Yeah.
When you're manifesting, you have to be precise in what you're asking for. So in that regards,
Okay, that's true.
the precision does matter, but you can't have you can have a destination, I guess. Like the goal is to make a song, but how you get there should be open.
Yeah. Okay.
And neuro-linguistic
You know what I
programming
mean?
too.
Yes, I totally know what you mean. Like, yeah, you should have kind of the more specific
Yeah.
where you're going, the more you can picture that specifically, like better your chances
Yeah, if
are
you're
to
like,
get there.
if you're like, I want to play at the Hollywood Bowl, you'll be like opening up, but I want to headline and sell it out.
Right.
That's what you're gonna do.
You gotta hone it in.
Yes.
And
Like,
like,
yeah.
the neuro-linguistic programming too, it's like speaking it into existence. Like, oh, it might happen. No, when this happens,
Yeah,
when I get that
definitely.
check, not
Yeah.
if I get this check. Can I get it?
100%.
Yeah.
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 Well, what do you want to will into the universe for bigger than us?
People just connecting with
Connecting
the
with
vibe.
the music, yeah.
Yeah.
And just doing fun things and revealing our truths how we want. I said before, like when you're creating, it should be an act. Like just continuing to act and like just doing the things we want, telling the stories the way we want to, and the journey is the fun part. Like right now, I wake up every day and I'm like, ooh, how are we gonna push this? Like, how we're gonna connect with people more.
And the rate
it's
of things,
fun.
it's like I feel like we're going to be empowered to really do the art to the scale we want to, and create these shows, because I've been developing huge live shows for some of the biggest artists for a long time, and I'm just taking all that expertise. Huh?
What have you been doing it for?
Okay,
Well, yeah, I didn't know this about you.
Yeah,
So what you
name
put
drop
together
for
like a
us, will ya?
stage show?
No, I let's start this topic over a little bit. Okay. So I do playback and musical directing for tons of A-list artists.
Oh, yeah, you told me about
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Yes.
I've done a
Okay.
lot of stuff with like A$AP Rocky, Kid Leroy, Snow Allegra. The list is huge, right? Russ, 24K Golden. So taking all that expertise in working in musical directing and playback engineering and building these huge Ableton sessions, which, has actually made me better at producing, because I've been doing such complex Ableton things for a while now. I'm just taking that and I'm developing like a really dope show for us too, with like time code, and everything's going to be like multi-tracked out. I got all these synths with program changes. It's pretty sick.
The stuff you do for the live artists, is there sometimes there's a live band also, sometimes not?
Yeah,
It just
totally.
depends.
Yeah, and I'll multi-track everything out. Sometimes I'm like, when I've worked with these artists like A$AP, Rocky, I'll be side stage just running the show like an invisible DJ. I'll be triggering the auto-tune settings. We'd have like key commands, like more auto-tune for tonight. You know what I mean? And then when there's guests, like recently I did some stuff with Tuzi, and we did a couple TV shows, and I went through all the stems and, made it right for the band. There was drummers and guitarists, and we just stripped the track down and multi-track that with the band, and then in post we like mix and master it so it sounds like a
Wow.
like a track.
If there's no band, do you still have things tracked out? You could turn up the snare, for example.
Yeah, no, I turn it
even though
on and
it's
off.
just backing track.
So the way it's programmed in the Ableton session, it's kind of linear. And so, for instance, if Marieme is not there, which that won't happen, but I'm not going to play those tracks without her. But if she was not there, I could just turn her vocal on, you know. And I did that in specific like occurrences, like in the session I built for Brockhampton when, what was his name? The guy who got kicked out.
Oh, I only know the
Amir.
Kevin guy. Okay.
Yeah, Amir. Okay, I did that for Brockhampton, and when Amir got kicked out, and we were in Boston, and it was a whole drama.
Do people know that he was kicked out? Is this public information?
Yeah.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
No,
Just want to know.
Fourth, maybe,
Just
but
want to know.
no, it's fully public.
you heard it here fourth, folks.
No, 100. Yeah. No, and I just had to like kind of go through and turn off those tracks for some of the shows and stuff, you know.
Got you.
Yeah.
Wow, what a cool thing. How long have you been doing that? Long, like since Warped Tour you started doing that?
Pretty much shortly after that, I got called in to do some stuff for Mike Posner through my friend, and just kind of snowballed from there. And yeah.
Super. Wow. Congrats. That's awesome.
That's been my like bread and butter for.
So do you end up doing a lot of touring?
Yeah.
Because of that?
Yeah, I've done tons of touring with that too.
Is that like the grind of touring, raising a family? Like how do you do it? How do you
No,
balance it
it's
all
a
out?
good question, and I've kind of scaled it back as far as like client touring. I want to just kind of limit it to like, you know, my music and the Bigger Than Us project, and the goal is obviously to grow it to a point where I could like bring the kids on the tour bus, and
Right,
you
of
know,
course.
that's obviously the dream. But you know, I'm passionate about touring and doing my own shows for my own music, you know, and I will often set up the artists at rehearsals here in Burbank or whatever, and get them set up for their tour and get everything programmed.
And then send someone else out
Yeah.
on the road to just do the triggering and everything. or
Exactly.
whatever has to happen. Wow, dude, really cool. What's been your favorite like moment, favorite show that you were like, I can't believe I'm fucking here. I'm invisible, but I'm here at the fucking somewhere. You know,
there was a few. There was one at the LA Forum, and Drake came out, and like
Wow.
I was running the tracks for all that, and I had to like coordinate with his team prior to that and get the stems in for the specific version of the tune.
Wow.
It was kind of surreal. That's cool.
That's
And-
a trip.
That's awesome.
Wow, dude.
And then I was in Sweden with ASAP Rocky when he got arrested on that whole thing. I wasn't there with him, but I was like at the hotel.
Flushing all the drugs down the toilet. No, what did he get arrested for? I don't even know.
This whole thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Sweden shit. You
Yeah,
know
some
how
Sweden
it
shit.
is.
Yeah, exactly.
Some Sweden shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Really fucking cool.
Are you from LA or a Florida guy? Where'd you grow up?
No, I was born in Montreal,
Okay.
and then I lived in LA from 3 to 11, and then Vancouver from 11 to 20, and then 20 to 40 in LA.
A Canadian.
Did
I
you
didn't
clock
know.
he was Canadian?
I did not know he was Canadian.
I'm Canadian.
She said Florida because the ska band I was in was from Florida, so
Yes.
maybe that's why you assumed the connection.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
But yeah,
you
wow.
don't.
It's not like you're obviously from Florida. Judging by no, but that's cool. So where in Vancouver?
In a suburb, kind of outside Surrey,
nice.
in the hood.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems gorgeous up there. Yeah.
It rains a lot. It's it was a little
Kinda
depressing
grim.
for me. I think it was because I lived in LA from 3 to 11. I kind of knew.
You knew there was an alternative. But you're like,
Yeah,
it
they can't lie to you
doesn't
anymore.
have
Yeah.
to be this way, guys.
Literally, that's I think why. And other people that live there, they're like, "What do you mean?"
That's so funny. Yeah.
There's places with beaches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and palm trees and
Yeah.
sunshine.
I need the sun. I'm
Yeah.
such a sun creature. I
Yeah.
just need it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so funny.
And what about in
Hilarious.
Senegal? Were you in like an urban environment or more in a quiet town kind of setting?
I lived in Dakar, which is the capital of Senegal, but we lived like 10-minute walk to the beach. So
Wow.
it was
So yeah, that to New York is a big shift.
very, very, very big shift.
Do you get back to Senegal ever?
The last time that I was there was in 2019.
Okay.
I was opening up for Akon in Senegal.
Wow.
For
How incredible.
they were honoring his dad, and it was televised like all over. It's funny.
What's Akon's dad? Is he like a? Do something too?
He was he was like a bridge between like American music.
Oh, his dad was a musician.
Yeah,
Oh.
American music and like African music. here in America, I guess, like back in the days. So he has a name in music. Yeah.
Wow. What's his dad's name? The artist
Don't
name.
embarrass me.
Okay.
I have no idea.
I'll look it up. I'm
Good
just
to know,
curious.
though. It's good
Yeah.
to know. Names are, they only go so far, but now I know.
Damn, I forgot his name. Shit.
That's really
It's
cool.
okay. If Akon's watching, we apologize.
Do you guys ever feel like that craving, that nostalgia to be back in those places? Because, I've moved around a lot, and yes, big yes.
Yeah, I plan on going back this year. I have a lot of places to go this year. But I do plan on going back. I have some amazing friends there, and they're like just the most amazing fashion designers. And there's like a big just arts culture going on over there. A lot of like Kehinde Wiley, who painted the Obama photos. He
yep.
has a place there, art studio there. A lot of people, you see a lot of people going now. Naomi Campbell, Solange, everybody's like, Senegal is like a fashion hub too now. Yeah, so it's really cool to be there. There's a vibe. The young people. They just elected a new president, and like, it's a very progressive place, and I feel like that's where the African Renaissance is gonna happen. Yeah.
Wow.
Excellent. All
Awesome
right.
times for Senegal. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
that
excited?
sounds-
Did I sell it up?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did. I'm
I'm
like,
stoked.
I want to go to Senegal. That sounds
I got lots
fantastic.
to look up. What is the what is Senegal known for musically?
Our football team. We won the African Cup last year, and we have a bunch of players in the Premier Leagues and stuff, like
Okay.
Mendy. I don't know. Did he just leave Chelsea and stuff? Okay, and Sadio Mane, he was like the person at Liverpool. So
Okay.
we have, and like Koulibaly, who's in France. So we have like major players. We're doing really well.
Wow, sick.
Oh, and the most followed TikToker is Senegalese, Kabi.
I don't know.
I know.
Yep.
But I'm not on TikTok. You know this fella?
I don't think I do.
Well, I'm just giving you some facts.
Yeah.
you
We're
know, the
getting a lot
Senegalese-
about
the
Senegal
Senegalese-
here.
You
I'm
see him
always
in the
late to the
Who.
game, but
Okay, I'm sure I recognize
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing our thing. We are doing our thing.
There you go. Pop off.
Senegal. Awesome. What's the food in Senegal?
Oh, so tasty.
It's good.
Yeah, no, it's really good. There's this amazing dish called dibi. It's a lamb dish that we put like Dijon mustard on it. We were colonized by the French, so we took the
Okay.
Dijon and
Took the Dijon and kicked
yeah,
out the French.
yeah.
So, leave the mustard, but
You can go.
You could go.
it's really good. It's my favorite.
We're big
there's a lot of
mustard people.
eclectic-
Yeah,
we
we
hear
love
you on
mustard.
that.
So you're
we
gonna love
hear
it.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
forget
sounds bomb.
ketchup. We always want mustard for our fries.
The Dijon
for
mustard.
anything. Yes.
There's a song in Senegal dedicated to the one dish dibi, and it's like dibi dibi dek, dibi dibi dek, and it's like dibi only, dibi dibi only dibi.
Ah, on the DB. Wow.
I really we are actually there's a kinship that we
Yes.
didn't know existed.
We need to go to Senegal. Yeah, these are our people.
Yeah, did I sell it for you?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
you've
go to
sold it.
Senegal. It's a
Wow.
good place. It's an amazing place.
Yeah.
And musically,
regretted-
are there music artists coming out of Senegal, breaking out? Is there?
Yeah, like Youssou N'Dour, he won a Grammy before. He's like did a couple of songs with Peter Gabriel back in the days.
Sick.
You know, he's like the godfather of one of the godfathers of African music, along with Fela and like a lot of people. He's amazing. We have Akon too,
Sure.
and Baba Mal. I don't know if you know Baba Mal,
No.
but he did the soundtrack for what's the name? Wakanda.
Oh, sick.
So all the sabata drums that you hear are like a lot of Senegalese drummers and stuff. So
So cool.
yeah,
Wow. All right, I'm gonna have to do a lot of research on
Seriously.
Senegal, honestly.
Senegal is an amazing place. I love it.
Is there
I
any
love it.
good Senegalese?
Senegalese food?
Senegalese food around here?
No, unfortunately. I was thinking about my Senegalese friends and I. We have like a community of Senegalese people that we get together and make dibi and stuff. Just last week we did it.
Yeah, you brought
It's
it to
really
the
good.
house. It was delicious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me and my lady were
Next
stoked.
time, I'll put you on. But no,
Next
but
time.
there's no Senegalese food
Okay.
places here. I know. Devastating.
Opportunity, folks.
Very, very much. If there are any Senegalese listening, please
Yes,
help
please.
us out.
Give us a restaurant. Give us something.
LA.
A food truck, at least.
At
Come
least a food
on.
Or
truck.
start one. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a hole in the market, clearly.
There is a hole in
There
the
is.
market.
There is. Yeah, we've been talking about it. And then we were going to probably open up like a cool dibi spot because you don't get dibi till like 2 o'clock in the morning and it takes like an hour to actually get, and you just sit there and like wait for the guy to make it. It's like a whole thing.
That's part
so
of
we
it.
have to give them the whole experience. Yeah,
Be
Wow, so
ready
it's a
to
late
chill.
night snack.
yeah, it's a late night snack. Yeah.
Is it a late
Slow you
night
down.
culture in Senegal?
Yeah.
Like,
People sit outside, you know, the kids are, this is very lively. It's
I
cool.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. We go to South America pretty frequently, and like I love the late Christine hates it because she's in bed by 8:30
I
every
try
night.
to hang, but it's hard for me.
But I love it's like midnight and like the whole family, we're going to dinner. Like the 9-year-old kid is
So
coming to
nice.
dinner at midnight. Like, let's go.
That's
I'm
what's
about
missing
it.
in America. You know, like people used to sit outside, play. Like there's just so it's
And what do they call them? It's like not B spaces or secondary spaces, but there's like
third space?
Third space, yeah, where like these spaces outside of the home for community to gather.
It's like not your home, not your work.
not
but
work,
that third space
not a
that you
restaurant.
go
Like where
to.
do you go? Where does the community go? It's cute around here. There's a lot of people that like go to the park and play their games, and we've been actually amazed at the park situation by our house. We went past it Saturday night, and there were probably 200 people at the
Yeah,
park.
like it's summer, so we're walking by the park, and it's just like full of families, kids running
Oh my
around. We're
gosh,
like,
so many
we're like,
activities.
and we're like, this must be like some kind of organized thing, like a school social or some church thing. I don't know. Then we went back on a Tuesday. Same thing. This thing is popping off. Kids are running around, scooting. Old men are like playing backgammon. Like,
Oh, nice.
It's
So,
awesome.
I'm glad that
in
it
Glendale,
exists.
they have it. It's
It
here.
does exist, but in general, I think America misses a lot of those places. Like I know in Europe, a lot of the parks and stuff have bars that you can sit in, so parents can
yeah.
have an activity while their kids play. And there's all these, I don't know, it just feels a little different. So I would like to see more of that.
But New York kind of has that a little more. Like people like standing outside talking to the neighbor
Yeah.
or
Stoop
like stoop hangs and things
Right.
like that. I feel like you get that a lot more in New York.
New York is also very, very diverse. That's what I love
Yeah.
about the interactions. You never know what you're gonna find, and I always prepare for magic. So, and you always find magic in New York.
Always prepare for magic.
Hell
That's
yeah.
a really good.
I like the be realistic, prepare for a miracle.
Yes,
Be realistic, prepare for a miracle.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
that is good. Wow. So cool. So we've got Do It Again coming out tomorrow. So when this comes out, this will come out Monday.
Oh,
so
okay, word, wow.
it's out now, folks.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Do It Again, which this was one of my favorite ones I listened to. It's got like a real kind of 90s vibe to it. I mean, it's something really skillful in your production that like there's this 90s taste, but it's very now. It's a very now sound.
Definitely.
It's got like a now feel, but like just this, I don't know, just a little shake of 90s in there. It's hard to even put
It's
your
not on
finger
all the tracks, but I
Yeah.
know what you mean. Yeah, and there's even a couple new ones that kind of have that a little more. To get that, it's just staying true to certain things. Like I'm using a Juno 60 for the lead. You know what I mean? And it's like that's from that time. But with all my new school techniques and sounds and sound design and what I do and just put it all together, it takes on a life of its own.
So wait, what is that? That is to the 90s what like the synthesizer was to the 80s?
It's one of them, and it's like of that time period. It's like, yeah, I used to be less about like, oh, I need this synth for this thing. And I would do so much in the box until like a year or two ago. And I started kind of getting a little bit more into the synths. And I see like, oh, if you want that sound, you use that thing.
Right.
Do you
It's
think
still
there was?
out there.
Do you think there was a shift that allowed you to pivot and like open that new level of creativity or access that, or was there like a mental, like you were saying, did you speak that into existence?
The synth came into my
Physical-
sphere,
yeah,
into my
physical
studio,
possession.
Gravity.
into my gravity, and I started using it
There you
and
go.
recording it. And
Wow.
it's not just that. I mean, there's a handful of other things, and just my technique and process. Because like I think a lot of it is because I produced bass music for a really long time too, and dubstep and hip hop and so many different kinds of music up to this point. And then the Bossa Project, it's a little bit more like organic house meets like a little bit of bass music. It's it's kind of got its own thing going on. And then the convergence of that with Bigger Than Us, it's just kind of like works in its own pop way, and yeah, I'm not gonna fight it. It just is.
Don't fight it.
A
Yeah.
lot of eclectic sounds. It's full-bodied.
Right.
Yeah, full bodied.
Totally.
Do you mix in the box or do you do the mixing?
Yeah, I do the mixing, the mastering, all
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, he mixes and masters all the songs as we're doing it in real time. So as soon as it's like rendered, it's just
It's basically
he's,
done.
he's,
That's
he's like
efficient.
a crazy Ableton whiz. Like he's like just like a mad scientist. So we're trying to portray him as that within the group, like the mad scientist.
I am a mad scientist.
He is, yeah.
And
I like it. Get your hair a little more disheveled. Just
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Were you always using Ableton?
Yeah, pretty
Okay,
much. Well,
great.
not always. When I first started, I messed with like Sony Acid Pro and Cubase and Logic, and then when I got into Ableton, that kind of stuck. And I like I said, doing the musical directing and the playback engineering and the show programming, like I got used to like the craziest Ableton sessions and like using stems for every song to make bridges and you know, it's just like reps, you know, just do
because those Ableton sessions is the whole show. Mm-hmm. So it's not just all the tracks for like a whole A$AP Rocky song, but it's all the tracks for all the songs.
Yeah, so there's stems of everything, and then oftentimes, like with Lanny, when I program their show, tons of program changes. When the song changes, all the synths are changing. The time code's hitting for the LDs and the VJs and everything for that to change. Everything's multi-tracking out.
And is it set automatically, like when the cursor is here at the start of this song, switch the synth sound, or are you having to do all that?
The playhead would trigger it because it's a MIDI clip, and you set the program change for that output to that synth. Cool. Yeah.
Techie.
Yeah, no, I'm super nerd with that stuff.
Yeah.
Very
I'm
nerdy.
impressed. Yeah, I've never been
of course.
like, I don't know shit about gear, or like, I've just been like, let's just try and mess around until it sounds okay. But like, even you were like, which is that the little fatty? Is that the heavy? I was like, it says little fatty on it, so I guess that's what it is, but I don't know.
I thought it was the sub fatty from afar. Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what those are, you know?
But there's beauty in that too, you know. Like you said, sometimes overthinking is a bad thing. You've got you've got your own flow.
That's true. I do have my own flow, but knowledge is never bad. I used to kind of fear knowledge, especially like music theory. Some people say like, oh, if you learn too much, like you'll like focus on that, but like.
In the music
but like,
theory.
will you know, like, if,
I think there's a healthy balance.
This right attitude and this freedom and this approach, like having more knowledge, I don't think is negative.
Right. I think there's a balance of knowing it and how much you can break the rules.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like some of my good mentors, like Tommy and peeps like Sidecar Tommy, shout out. You know, it's just like ways to break the mold and don't get hung up. Like, it doesn't need to be the same each time. Like, the vocal can be a little different with the delay hit, you know.
Right.
Don't get so caught up in it being so formulaic.
Sure. Yeah, it's like learning the rules, but then obviously breaking them whenever you feel like
Exactly, yeah.
Not only that, but do you watch Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I watched some.
No.
I haven't seen
Not Avatar, like the aliens.
No.
The blue people.
No, the cartoon.
The cartoon. No, I've never seen that.
Oh, okay, it's so good. But to add to your point, like there's a character, Uncle Iroh, but like he teaches his nephew how to do this one move that does not exist in the firebending world because he learned it from the Water Nation. So he created his own move. So I feel like taking from different techniques and stuff is very useful in creating your own vibe because it's all about creating things that didn't exist and like just the mashing up of different things and what you learn from.
Like, it's a bit of a different palette than you would think.
Does that make sense? What I was
Oh yeah, I'm picturing you listen or watching your Bollywood
like,
again.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, yeah, I mean, everything
like
is-
that, taking A plus B and creating this new C that wasn't there before.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's less about knowledge as much as like soaking up influence too, you know, like when you make a song that like kind of everything you ever heard is somewhat going into that, you know, and it's like, that's where it's really never bad to soak up new things, like
and diversify, you know, what you watch and stuff, who you watching it from, so you can get like a full picture of what's going on, you know.
Yeah, you could apply this to so many things, huh? Like music,
everything,
knowledge,
everything
politics, everything. Like the more you consume and kind of soak up, the better you can kind of like
balance.
Is TikTok actually going to be like taken away and banned?
Do
we know? Because, you know, I think the legislation is at least in motion. I wonder. I'll miss it. I feel like
I stay away from TikTok.
You do?
I'm not gonna say that publicly.
Follow me on TikTok. I won't be there.
no,
it's just too much going on.
There's
too much
a lot.
information.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't like it as a
is.
platform, but then I do flip around on Instagram a lot.
There's
I like
just so much.
Instagram more.
But that's
for
the
some reason.
point is like there is so much kind of real time things which I feel intrigued by. I like the idea of people telling stories in that open level.
For sure.
You know,
But
I don't
feel like I
want to
do like
setting
1
that
hour,
back.
and I want to devote like maybe like 1 hour to consuming social media because otherwise there's just so
Totally.
much and you refresh and then the algorithm knows exactly what you like, so you keep seeing more of the same thing and then you never fucking leave.
And it
Eat
is
your
absolutely
day.
a
The dopamine
creativity
drip.
killer
I know.
too.
It's
And it
just
just
too
you
much.
feel shitty after too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt about that. But I do feel like it is still such a tool and resource when you use it in a pointed way. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
There's a lot to be gained from it. And like we're
For sure.
benefiting somewhat from these all
Yeah,
these
for
technologies and things.
Yeah.
There's
It'd
good
be
sides.
interesting
Yeah.
to see
But yeah,
what
but they're
happens.
addicting as fuck, and
Yeah, it's very addictive.
And we're like working for these algorithms in a lot of ways, like
Yeah.
launching a new project, all these things. It's like people aren't
We're
motivating.
working for Instagram, Facebook, and all these companies.
No
I mean,
shit.
basically,
Yeah.
this is what let's call it
Okay.
exactly what it is.
And
And
did
we
you-
are working for them. We're making the money. We're giving them our money. It's just the whole thing.
The whole thing.
They're telling us how to live our lives, what we like.
It's true.
Spotify too.
Yeah. Even like Amazon, like you're buying something from Amazon, then they're taking your money, but they're also selling the data of the fact that you bought something to somebody else. Like,
Yep.
Well,
Okay,
then,
here's
and then
my-
the thing with Instagram this week where they're like selling all your stuff to make to
Stop
train
it.
their AI, right? And you had to elect out of that. If
Wait,
you didn't,
when was this?
It just went into effect on the 26th, I think. Is that yesterday or today?
I don't even know.
I would
It's too
prefer
late.
to
Our
not
souls
have
are
a
gone.
phone.
It's too late. Is what I'm
I would
saying.
prefer to not have a phone.
Same, yeah.
I mean,
Me
do
too.
you remember as a kid
I
that
have to.
freedom of like
Yeah.
just
do.
I'm out playing and I'll see you when I see you. Like you want me to come home for dinner, I'll probably be there around that time.
yeah, it's like, oh
But-
shit, it's getting dark. I should probably
Yeah,
start
gotta
going
go home.
Yeah.
Well, you know your friend's bike, and you'd see them at the front of your other friend's house. You're like, oh, that's
Yeah.
where these people are at.
Yeah, yeah.
Skirt.
Yeah.
Yes, there's no doubt that I think now one of the greatest luxuries we have is to be without cell service.
With your own thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Like for an hour before bed and an hour after I wake up, I just make sure that I don't have my phone.
That's
and
great.
I'm just like more able to just make sense of everything that happened in the during the days, and then like also like when I wake up, I'm able to recall my dreams. I'm not like going straight to my phone
Mm-hmm.
to see what's going on, because it sets the tone for my day. And so like
Sure.
instead, I'm like setting the tone for my day and doing my affirmations and everything that I need to do before I get that dopamine
Flooded.
All that
Yeah.
chaos.
baseline.
Well, there you go. There's that
Yeah.
discipline
Drip.
again. Good habits lead to
Yeah,
You know,
you
good
have
outcomes.
to though. You have to, because it's just so much information. I don't think we're supposed to be processing this much information.
it is a lot. It can be very overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not. We've encountered more information than every relative we've ever had.
Yeah.
Like every generation
In a week.
in a week. Yeah. Like go back like 5 generations. Like yeah, what you do in a day is like their whole life amount of like. Whoa, what? Like
Yeah, because it used to take like a fortnight for something to
Yeah,
get somewhere, and then a fortnight for it to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to have Fortnite.
now
Yes.
we're playing Fortnite while we take a shit. Anyway, all right. Well, this was really cool. It's great to meet you, Marieme.
Me
It's
too.
great to
Thank
see you,
you.
Stephan.
Yeah,
This is
but-
awesome. Everybody go
Thank you for
check
having us,
out
yeah.
Bigger Than Us. Check out Bossa. Check out Marieme. I assume you have music.
Yeah, I have my own.
Absolutely.
Fuck
Both of our
yeah.
projects are popping on their own too, so it's like
Super
Yeah.
cool. It's like a super group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like superheroes. But anyway, thank you so much for doing this, you guys.
Yeah,
and,
thank you.
us.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you
right.
for having us. Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Love your shirt too. If
Oh,
you want to
thank
show.
you. Oh, I do want to shout
we-
this.
oh,
This is a friend of mine makes this actually. Billion 6 is the
Nice.
company.
Sick.
This is a good one. It made
Yeah.
me smile.
Nice.
He's a good Argentinian artist, right? Or no?
Well, the guy who makes the shirts is
I thought-
Argentinian.
I'm like, that's
you
Dennis
said that.
Rodman.
Dennis Rodman, the famous Argentinian artist. You know, the
You know,
painter.
he might be. That man is full of surprises.
I know.
That would be cool.
Who
Like,
knows?
it's like, yeah.
knows? He's lived a
Like
lot
when he
of life.
dies, it's like they find this vault where it's like he made all these amazing
could be.
paintings or something, like poetry.
He seems like someone who's not bound
No.
by, our bullshit.
You know, anything
No,
on this
fearless.
planet.
Fearless.
Yeah.
He always
gosh.
was. Like,
Seriously.
I mean, of all the people in the NBA I'd be friends with, it probably would have been him. Just like, he's the Burning Man vibe.
he's the Burning Man of the NBA for sure. Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
guy.
he's the
Hope
man.
he's well. I wonder what he's up to. It's been quiet on the Rodman front.
Hit us up, Rodman. Let us know.
The last
My
time I
wife
heard
Roxy,
he
I'm
was
sure, says hi.
interviewing Kim Jong Un in North Korea.
Yeah,
wasn't
that's I feel like
I
the
watched a
last time I
documentary
heard.
about
That's very
that.
interesting.
But that was
I
a
mean,
long
Yeah.
time ago, was it not? That was already.
Maybe 10, 8 years ago?
Yeah, where's he been? Because that was like a prolific moment. That was like the ultimate. I'm not gonna do what you tell me to
Yeah.
do. Beyond whatever
But that's been
hair
him
dye.
his whole career. He was like, I'm gonna wear
Okay.
a wedding dress, and like, he's kind of like a queer icon almost, but like a straight guy. But like, he's like, I'm gonna
Dennis
dye my
Rodman
hair,
and
I'm gonna wear
Prince
lipstick.
Had like the same energy,
Yeah.
Like they still got all the women in the world, even and then like they were more feminine, and
Yeah.
everybody was just more accepting of that because they were truly themselves. Like when
Yeah.
you're truly yourself, you dictate to people like how to treat you,
Yeah,
basically.
absolutely.
And it's like you can't say shit.
Fearless.
I
Shout out
admire
to
that.
Dennis.
Yeah, what a guy.
We love you. All right. Anyway.
Okay.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Go follow Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, go find him.
Right.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank-